You have seen it 100 times. A wall of muscle bursts through the trees, jaws wide, and the ground shakes. It roars into the rain and chases a car down a muddy road. But the real Tyrannosaurus Rex was far stranger than any movie lets you believe. Start there. With the strangeness, almost everything you picture when you hear that name is a guess, a reconstruction, a story told by people who never saw the animal alive. And when you strip the story away and read what the bones actually say, the creature that appears is more unsettling than the monster on the screen. So forget the film. What was it really? It was enormous, around 12 meters long and close to 9,000 kilograms, heavier than an elephant. It walked on two legs, spine level to the ground, tail out behind it as a counterweight. Not upright, not dragging its tail. That old museum pose was wrong for most of a century. Its head was longer than you are tall. Around 60 teeth filled it, thick and rounded, shaped like bananas and edged with fine serrations. And they did something almost no predator could do. They crushed bone. A paleontologist named Gregory Erickson worked out how hard it could bite. The answer was among the most powerful bites of any animal that ever walked on land. It did not slice its food. It clamped down, drove its teeth through flesh and bone at once, and tore the whole mass free. But it did not begin enormous. Erickson counted the growth rings inside its bones and found a teenage explosion. For a few violent years, a young Tyrannosaurus gained around 2 kilograms a day, every day, ballooning into the adult in barely a decade. Then it aged, and most were dead before 30. Could it run? The movie says yes. But a researcher named John Hutchinson ran the numbers on its muscles and its mass, and the physics refused. A true sprint would have needed an impossible amount of pure running muscle. It likely would have shattered its own legs. So it did not sprint. It walked. Fast, heavy strides, at roughly the speed of you hurrying to catch a bus. Does that make it less frightening or more? An animal so large it never needs to run. Now the timeline, which is stranger than the animal. You file all the famous dinosaurs into one prehistoric soup. They did not share it. Stegosaurus was already gone, extinct for around 80 million years, before Tyrannosaurus ever drew breath. More time separated those two than separates Tyrannosaurus from you. The Tyrant King lived closer to the smartphone in your pocket than to the Stegosaurus you imagined beside it. Then the end came. A rock the size of a city struck the earth. The sky darkened, the climate collapsed, and the great dinosaurs vanished. Tyrannosaurus was among the last still standing. It watched the curtain fall. Extinct? Gone. A monster locked in stone. Except it isn't. A scientist named Mary Schweitzer recovered fragments of ancient protein from a Tyrannosaurus bone, real molecular material. And when she compared it to living animals, the closest match was not a lizard. It was the chicken. Because birds are dinosaurs. Not their descendants, not their cousins, but the surviving branch of the exact family tree the Tyrant King belonged to. Every sparrow on a wire, every pigeon on the pavement, every chicken on a plate is a small feathered dinosaur that made it through the fire. So think back to the opening. The monster roaring through the rain, chasing the car. That animal never quite existed as you were shown. It was stranger, slower on its feet, sharper in its senses, closer to your own life than to half the dinosaurs beside it. And it never truly left. You have seen a Tyrannosaurus this week. It was standing on a wire outside your window, and you did not think twice.